This is Stan once again for Interesting Ideas. We try and come to you every weekday if we can make it. And usually we can, but not always, because we have lots to do. This is just a part of what It Takes Radio, a podcast and publishing company, is all about. And we're in the business of helping you connect with your audience and bringing your message to life. Yes, make it alive, and perhaps giving you a touch of immortality. And as far as I know, we are the only company who does that. And I will try and explain why that's important to you as we have these little conversations from time to time. And here we go. First of all, the title, again, meant to try and get you to click on and listen to the story. Yes, if your job is one you can do from home, perhaps you're in trouble. And indeed, they should teach plumbing in college. And perhaps they ought to talk about pep talks and maybe prayer. See if we can get that all in for something to think about in about 20 minutes on this Wednesday, hopefully to get you prepared for a end of the week and a good weekend. That's the program coming up, and it begins right now. Of course, like you, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm getting pretty good at sorting things out. And one of the things that caught me, one of them magazines, online magazines I read a lot, is one that you can actually write for. It's simply called Medium, and it's free, but if you pay $5, you get a lot more. And it's where anybody can write. And obviously you have to observe certain standards, but the editor will let it in as long as it meets certain standards of decency and things like that. It has to be well prepared and well written in the sense that it doesn't violate all of the massive standards that you might have. But it doesn't mean anybody will read it, but many people will. And you can be published. And that's something you should think about it. Well, one of the articles, which obviously rose to the top, was a young woman who wrote the article and said, hey, if your job can be done at home, you're in trouble. And then she went with it. And of course, a lot of it is, okay, then that means that the robots can probably do it. It's one of those jobs that you don't have to be there. You don't have to be outside. You don't have to be at the place of work. And if that's the kind of job you have, then your job is in trouble. Just like I went this morning to get a treat for my dear wife. It's her birthday. So I ran down to the supermarket, and I actually talked to a few of the people. It was about 6:15, and I was there. And hardly anybody was in the store, but it was open, and people were working and getting ready for the day. Now, those people can't do their job at home. They actually have to go to the supermarket and do their work. And if I need some food, I could get it delivered, but somebody has to deliver it, and obviously somebody has to prepare it and market it. They've got some pretty safe jobs because they're in the food business. But if your job is not that vital in some respects, maybe you're in trouble. So there we go. Something to think about. Look it up on the Medium format and see what you think. Because artificial intelligence is doing some strange things. As I pointed out the other day, there is now a possibility that my radio program, already Joe Rogan and Seth Godin, these are guys making millions of dollars in the internet business, their podcasts were totally done by artificial intelligence. Somebody actually found a way of doing that. They can make the voice sound just exactly like it. and it can put things together. And now there is a business in the radio business, which is actually coming where the information about the weather, the traffic, and other things come into the AI, and it puts it together, and an artificial voice starts being a disc jockey, a radio announcer. And it doesn't exist. It's all artificial. But you know what? It's really pretty good. And the average person who isn't paying close attention might not even know the difference. And so that's got a lot of people in the radio business thought, well, they have to have somebody who can talk and do the speaking. No, they don't. Now, am I worried about that? Not too much. And I tell you that in many ways why you can beat the artificial intelligence in your business. It takes work and you've got to be creative, but there are ways of remaining unique, and that's what we help you do. Now, here we go. The higher education institutions in our country today are losing students, a lot of them. And of course, there's a lot of reasons for that. First of all, why should I pay so much money for that? What good is it going to do me? And obviously what the COVID did, it made it even worse. What is this all about? And so many kids aren't going to college. And of course, the fact is that many of our higher education institutions are simply corrupt, with a lot of political correctness and all that stuff. And they're taking courses that will not make you any money or make any difference. And so why go? If you want just an education, if you just want to learn something, you don't need to go to college. Not anymore. Everything you could go and learn at a college, you can learn someplace else. Perhaps much cheaper, and perhaps in a better and friendlier environment. So that's happening. So if you're going to have a college, this is how I would redesign, partly how I would redesign a college. I would say everybody has to take an apprentice course in plumbing. That's right. You see, there will always be a role for plumbers because plumbers deal with getting people water into their home or into their place. And everybody needs water. You don't get water, you die. So you have to have water. And so they are always going to have a job because all of the systems that we need to bring water, somebody has to fix them, repair them, build them. And we all know what else that we do after we eat and have water. We have to eliminate. That's right, you know that. We all have to have a toilet of some kind somewhere. Just has to be. At least in modern society, we can't go out to the outside outhouse much anymore. Well, who fixes toilets? Who repairs them? Who stops leaks? Plumbers. Now, that would be helpful for everybody to know how to do, but if you got pretty good at it, you could always get work. I actually have a very good friend. He's retired, but he is such a handy guy that he's making a nice little supplementary income in his fancy retirement village because, hey, he's not licensed, but he will help you, or he'll just do it as a handyman, and he helps people with plumbing. So if I were running the college, I would say every person would have to have, at least they would have their choice of these 4 trades. Plumbing. Okay, plumbing would be the one. Okay, how to be an electrician. How to fix electricity. All right. Number 3, They would also learn how to do basic carpentry. They would learn how to build something and put it together. And fourth, they would learn basic auto repair. Now you have to choose one of the four, and perhaps it would be good if every summer you would take one of them. These would be trade courses. Now we could have more of them, but the point is, everybody who went to college to get a degree from a school would have to come out with 6 months of apprenticeship training in a trade. Real work, doing a real job for real people that actually has a future and will be valuable. That's the deal. Make that part of what you have to do. So, plumbing. Now, podcasting. Of course, this is obviously self-promotion. But let me tell you what I mean by what I call podcasting and pep talks. And maybe a word of prayer. All right? Hey, we're at 11 minutes, and so you'll just give me a few more minutes, and we'll tell you about the next things you should probably learn in college. I'm Stan Houston. The program is meant to challenge you, perhaps to entertain you, perhaps to make you smile, maybe even to help you make some good decisions. I'll be right back. Well, podcasting. I'm on the radio. What I'm going to suggest is that more and more, what we used to call regular towers, transmitters, radio that you listen to in your car, or again, most people listen to some kind of radio. They really do. It may not be the regular radio that we're used to for the last 100 years, but the amount of people who are listening to podcasts and cable and video programs is growing by leaps and bounds. So you better know how to do that. So learn how to do a radio program. Learn how to do a video program. Know a lot of the things that go into a good program, and that's on your resume. That's on your, hey, Mr., Ms., future employer, you're going to need some help using radio and television in your marketing and your advertising. I can do that. I'm pretty good at it. I can do that. Have a Zoom call, conference, video we have to put together, radio program we have to put together. All of the advertising that's going to be in the future is going to be radio, podcast, video based. Now you can experiment with it, and everybody knows a little bit about it, but I have been trained professionally on how to do that, and I can help your business. That's not my main job, I know, but it will be what I can do because you will need that kind of help in your business and your office. So teach them podcasting. Also, how to do a pep talk. All right? Here's what I mean by that. Learn how to do what I call performance expression. PE. Performance expression program. Dale Carnegie said, call it public speaking. So we can call it public expressive performance. PEP. Public expressive performance. Learn the art of public performance expression. And it's a little bit stronger. Remember, I didn't say public speaking. Today, the good speaker is not just someone who stands up and gives a speech. It actually has to have emotion. It actually has to have motivation. It has to have what we're all used to now. Not just somebody talking, somebody who's performing, expressing themselves, and in a way giving a rise to things that make us smile, things that make us cry, things that make us happy. In effect, it is not only expressive, it's emotional. You've got to learn the art of a public, emotional, expressive performing. A pep talk. And you will not be able to graduate until you have given your senior pep talk. That's right. You have your senior thesis, and you better have your senior pep talk. And I would simply challenge them to say, have you ever prayed? I say, I'm not a religious person. Well, okay. But that's not what I asked. I said, learn how to pray. Learn how to ask for things. Pray. Learn how to ask for what you want. And then recall that part of what prayer is all about is for you to realize. That's why we're going to confront you with it. You ain't it all, ladies. You ain't it all, boys and girls, men, gentlemen. Hey, there's more than you in the world. You better be aware of the fact that if you knew everything in the world, you don't hardly know anything compared to everything in the universe. Hey, consider the fact that there is a higher power. There is a spirit world. There is transcendent being. There are a lot of people who don't believe that, but let me tell you, there are more people who do believe that. So you need, before you get out of this school, to understand that that is something you need to investigate and think about before you leave. That there's more than what is seen. That there is great things that may be unseen. There may be powers and possibilities, and as the guys in AA say, there is a higher power, and it's not you. They have to be confronted with the possibility that they may need to pray someday. There we go. Before you can graduate from college, you have to be able to know plumbing, podcasting, pepping, and prayer. If you do that, whatever else you do, you're probably at least well set to get launched into your first career. And actually, it'll be in your first career or your first job that your real education will start. Hey, 20 minutes, kind of a, pep talk. Please be with me from time to time. I'm Stan Houston. This is Interesting Ideas, and I'm going to do a pitch talk, and I'll be right back. By the way, I can't help you with plumbing, but I know somebody who can. But it's a good thing to learn. By the way, my daughter, a single woman in New York City, and rented a small but very, one of those old apartments. And she said, Dad, you wouldn't believe what I had to learn. because I couldn't afford the plumbers or whatever. And so by YouTube and other things, she's become pretty handy. Yeah. So that's part of what we're asking people to do. Okay, go there. We can help you become a broadcaster, a world-class broadcaster. We can also help you with how to give a great public expression, a speech, a talk, a performance. We're really good at helping you do that. And actually, we've been into enough trouble that we also know how to pray quite well. So if I could help you or your company in any of those areas or arenas, I would look forward to that opportunity. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. And always close with a benediction wherever you go. So best and blessings. May it go very well for you. 2023 is going to continue to be a mess of a year because we have a mess of leadership all around us. So do your best, but also find your way to be one of the best. Take care. Until next time, bye for now.